Hi, my name is Sierra Adams, and today I'll be discussing similarities and differences between file systems of Windows operating systems as well as Linux operating system. Also, we'll be making a decision from a business perspective on which system is preferred over the other, why and why not. Then I will be talking about storage solutions and then given a Christian perspective on ethical considerations for utilizing storage devices. First, we're going to go over similarities for Windows operating system and Linux operating system. So both of the systems use a hierarchy, like tree-like type of system for their files, as far as they have with directories, subdirectories, and like it just breaks down as far and so on. These with these files, they're able to give permissions, can have access control to like do editing the files, give permissions on who can, I guess, see them, so view them, edit them, delete them, etc. They both also have hidden directories, which helps them use certain commands to manage their files. The differences is that Windows uses separate drives for their root. It's divided into separate drives, where Linux just uses one unified root directory. Windows also have their programs and program files, where Linux keeps theirs in the home. Another like key difference would be case sensitive letters, where Linux is case insensitive, where Windows, when you're doing the commands and when you're running commands and what can I speak right now? And in the window where you run commands and try to like find different programs and stuff, you have to do it's case sensitive, so I make sure you're using uppercase or lowercase. So now, which system is preferred from a business perspective? It depends on what the business goals are, on what their needs are, what their wants are. Some would say if they're trying to get stability, security, open source flexibility, they'll use a system like Linux. When others will say if they want to use a versatile, compatible, easy to use, user friendly, they'll use something as far as Windows. Just from my personal experience, I have worked more with Windows, and I feel like it is easy to use. I work with a lot of secured information, and I haven't seen any major concerns. But also, too, I don't work in the security field. But I also believe, though, if there was like some major security issues, then we wouldn't be using Windows. So, me personally, I would say Windows over Linux. Okay, so two storage solutions would be NAS and SAN, which NAS is the network attached storage, and SAN is the storage area network. The difference between the two would be, if I guess you can go from size. If you're going from a small to a medium type organization, and you just do something as simple as like file sharing and something that's cost efficient, you will use something as such as NAS. Where if you are going to a larger organization where you want something that is high performance, you have faster speed, scalability, you'll use something as SAN. Now, to get into the Christian perspective on the ethical considerations when choosing the proper storage, like programs or systems, which one you would choose to go to. One of the number one things you want to do is make sure that you are being a good steward, practicing stewardship of the resources that you have, that you're not just blindly spending money, making decisions without doing your proper due diligence and making sure that this is the best system for what your goal is, and most cost efficient at that. You want to make sure that you're practicing honesty and integrity as far as finding out how the data is stored and what exactly is it going to be used for. Sometimes there's like fine print, and when we're dealing with other people's data, we want to make sure that it is being protected. Next, you want to make sure that, well, that ties into like making sure that we respect people and their data. So make sure that we do everything we can, or I guess a security professional, as well as having good faith and making sure that whichever program you decide to go with, whether it be Linux or Windows, that they align with your purpose and your intent for your organization and what you're trying to do. Thank you for chiming in with me today. I hope you left here with something, knowing more than you did before you watched this video. Thank you, and have a great day.